Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10 will take us to the 30th of December, near to the end of the month, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We'll extend GFS and ECM ensembles over on to around a couple of weeks. So have a look at CFS and E2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks as well. I'm going to see into the second half of January. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video of this day was our 7 AM upload, and we're going to have our latest Christmas update coming up for you this evening. It'll be like Christmas update combined with 12Z roundup, and we'll go through all of the data, but we will give you the latest sort of detailed forecast for Christmas, as detailed as we can be in this ever-changing, chopping and changing scenario. We'll give you our latest forecast and update. This evening. That'll be after 7 PM. Please like, share, subscribe on all our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Now, I'm going to say thank you so much to our latest channel member. Did a live stream yesterday. We picked up a new channel member. I'm going to say thank you so much to Ben Warren. Thank you so much to Ben Warren for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member. It's amazing, incredible. We've got over 65 channel members now. Unbelievable. Thank you so much, Ben, for doing that. So, if you'd like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is come to GavsWeatherVids YouTube homepage, click the join button, and it'll take you through to another page where you see what benefits you get for becoming a channel member on that page. And thank you so much to all of our channel members. You can also give a donation through PayPal as well. So this is the GavsWeatherVids PayPal page. We're getting some donations coming through now, so thank you so much to all of our donators, PayPal donors. We'll get a shout out in coming videos, of course. So if you'd like to shout out, all you need to do is give a donation through PayPal. Some people like to say anonymous, of course. That's absolutely fine. If you want to do that, just let me know when you make your donation. And then, of course, there's Patreon as well, so you can become a patron for GavsWeatherVids, and thank you so much to our 37 patrons as well. How you support GavsWeatherVids? You know, it's unbelievable, it's amazing, incredible. Thank you so much for doing that. And special thank you to Ben Warren for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member. Thank you so much, Ben. Right, we shall start the video, Ben, and we're going to have a look at CT. So, solar temperature is continuing its ever so slow decline. We're now standing at 6.3, which is 1.5 degrees above average provisional to yesterday, to the 19th of December. That should continue to gradually deflate and come down. So, by the end of the week, I would imagine it'll be like in the upper 5s, probably. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at Leeds today. So red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Leeds, although we lose it as we get into the new year, actually, but you can kind of think it's going to be like there. Red line is 30-year upper air temperature average for Leeds. We're starting off above average at the moment with the upper air temperature, but of course got an inversion going on, so it's not as warm as that on the surface as it is aloft. Now, Christmas, still the uncertainty goes on. So until around Christmas Eve, it's going to be relatively mild with the upper air temperatures, but look at the dates. That's Christmas Eve, that's Christmas Day, Boxing Day to the 28th. So this period just here from Christmas Eve to 28th, and particularly like there, which is Christmas Day. Now look at this. We've got more GFS ensemble members, including the operation room, beginning to trend colder again around Christmas. You remember we did last night's live stream, and we looked at the GFS ensembles and all the 12Z data. It looked as though the cold Christmas was more or less cancelled, except across northern Scotland, maybe. But overnight, more GFS ensemble members have started trending colder for this Christmas period. Now, we still have these ensemble members up here that are keeping it mild around Christmas. Bear in mind, we're talking about the weather on Friday and Saturday now, just in like 4 days' time or so. So yeah, the nightmare continues. The nightmare before Christmas goes on. But it does look as though the GFS actually is shifting a little bit towards the colder side for Christmas as well, and increasing the chance perhaps of a white Christmas in some areas. More about that in a moment. Now, as we go towards New Year, I'm not sure how seriously we should take this, given all of all of the chopping and changing that's been going on over Christmas period. But as we go towards the New Year, clearly we still have this warming trend going on. So the GFS ensembles want to turn things a lot milder into the new year. But to be honest, I wouldn't take that particularly seriously, given all of the uncertainty that's still going on around this Christmas period. As far as precipitation goes, lots of dry weather over the next few days, then it gets more unsettled from Christmas onwards. And again, if the temperatures drop and get cold enough, not only do you have to think about rain, we also have to think about an increasing risk of snow. Let's have a look at sea level pressure. That's going to be falling away, or is falling away. It's been at 1,040 millibars. It's now down to 1,030 millibars, and by Christmas it will actually be under 1,000 millibars. Maybe recovery in pressure there going in towards the new year. Let's have a look at the surface temperatures, so we can see with those. But again, we're looking like this. So we're starting off quite cold at the moment with surface temperatures inversion going on, of course, over the Christmas period. We lift the temperature up towards Christmas Eve, and then we start to lower it. But there is still this split. We've got more ensembles going cold now, though, around Christmas Day to Boxing Day, that period just there. Some of these are keeping things milder, though, over the Christmas period. But most of the ensembles go cold over and after Christmas, go down to around there, which is quite a cold level. Notice, night frost, etc., etc. And then in towards the new year, there is this warming trend going on with temperatures lifting up then in towards the new year. Although some ensemble members do keep things cold, as you would expect. But again, given the uncertainty that we see in this period just here over Christmas, I don't think we should take anything for the new year all that seriously at this point. As far as snow is concerned, actually quite a lot of snow spikes for Leeds, starting off around Christmas Day. So that's like Christmas Day to Boxing Day just there. Quite a few ensemble members with some snow spikes there. And that carries on actually in towards the last stages of December as well. So several ensemble members are producing snow. Some of them quite a lot. Some of them proper snow events up here. They're outliers, of course. And then the snow risk reduces as we get into towards New Year. That will be as it is potentially getting milder, of course. But again, I wouldn't take that all that seriously. Right, so temperature anomalies from the 28th December. Now, this is a change from yesterday. Are now looking colder than average. Are you keeping up with this, everyone? Precipitation anomalies from the 28th of December are looking drier than average in the south and near on to a bit wetter than average in more eastern and southern areas. The latest wind from that from urbanoldschool.net shows that high pressure is still in control but is drifting northwards, so we are starting to pull in more of an easterly wind into that area of high pressure. Right, it's time to start going through the chart data then. So this is what you're all waiting for, I think. Have a look at some chart data. We're going to start off with UK Met Euro on Thursday, when we're bringing up some milder air from the southwest. We've got blocking over Greenland and Iceland, so this area of high pressure is up here. That's potentially really what's causing all of the havoc. When you get northern blocking in situ in high latitudes, it does create all sorts of havoc within model output. We have also got this deep area of low pressure underneath it in the Atlantic. And we've got a trough of low pressure over Scandinavia. So, as I said, and a ridge is trying to get going over France as well. That's not doing us any favours at all, this ridge over France and Spain. So, we've got weather coming from all directions. The blocking area of high pressure, that wants to bring in like cold air from the northeast. The trough of low pressure over Scandinavia wants to deliver cold northerlies into northern Europe. The high pressure over France, that wants to pull up a mile southwesterly, and then the low pressure in the Atlantic wants to bring us westerlies and lots of wet weather. So weather is coming from all directions. That's the reason we have so much uncertainty. On Thursday, we look relatively mild across most parts of the country. We get through to midnight on Friday, Christmas Eve, and northern Scotland is in cold easterly winds. Elsewhere, drawing up a relatively mild sort of southwesterly wind. That's how the upper air temperatures look pretty mild across most parts of the country, just a far north Scotland in that -5 Celsius isotherm. Now, 24 hours on to Christmas Day, midnight on Christmas Day. We've got high pressure strengthening to our northeast. That's beginning to pull wind into more of an east-southeasterly into the northern half of the country. Meanwhile, low pressure down here is still trying to bring up those milder southwest winds. Upper air temperatures midnight on Christmas Day look like that. Battery lines well and truly drawn. When you're in this yellow area, it will only rain. This is where the cold air is, and then this area here is somewhat in between. You can see that for Scotland, North East England, it is relatively cold, however. Right, midday on Christmas Day, again, proper roll battle is going on here with lots of low pressure out to the west, trying to push in southwesterly winds. Got a weather front through there, that's going to be bringing outbreaks of rain, and on the northern edge as the wind is coming in from an east-southeast direction, that could deliver some snow. That's how the upper air temperatures look for midday on Christmas Day. Most of Ireland, England and Wales looking relatively mild. Scotland, northeast England looking relatively cold. Boxing Day, midnight and Boxing Day, still relatively mild across most parts of the country, so the UK Met has really backed off its idea of a cold Christmas. This morning, UK Met is very much going for a milder Christmas, and that's how we're looking to get to the end of the UK Met Euro, which gets us to the 27th of December, and still looking mild at that point with most parts of the country in those upper air temperatures. It's just Scotland and North East England that's in the cold air with the UK Met Euro backed off that cold Christmas it's forecasting over several days at the moment. Right, let's have a look at the GFS, see what that one's doing. So you remember GFS started this massive wobble about the cold Christmas. Let's see what it's doing now. So this is midnight on Thursday. It's GFS midnight run. I'll look at 6 in a moment. GFS midnight run, again looking pretty mild across most parts of the country as we go up towards Christmas Eve. That's how the upper air temperatures look. Most areas in those relatively mild yellow colours. Now through to Christmas Day, we find that the high pressure strengthens. The block strengthens to the northeast. Very cold air in over Scandinavia, of course. And this area of low pressure is trying to move in from off the Atlantic. So midday on Christmas Eve, we have cold air into the far north Scotland. Again, most parts are looking mild, though. Scandinavia looks very cold, much of northern Europe. Now, that's midnight on Christmas Day. So at this point, we're beginning to pick up a little bit more of an easterly wind into the northern half of the country. This area of low pressure is starting to get pushed southwards. That easterly wind is beginning to squeeze out that milder air to some degree. So Scotland and North East England, midnight Christmas Day now going into the colder air. Ireland, England and Wales in those yellow colours, relatively mild. Through Christmas Day itself, that low pressure then starts to get pushed southwards by this strengthening easterly wind, and so the cold air begins to come southwards as well. Cold air is now into northern England and even northern Ireland, mild to the south of that at midday on Christmas Day, and then by the time you're through into Christmas night, this is midnight, Christmas Day to Boxing Day, that low pressure goes further southwards, the easterly wind strengthening further, bringing the cold air further southwards as well. Yes, you've guessed it, the GFS is now beginning to move back towards a colder Christmas, so you can keep up with this. So it's still relatively mild for central some parts of England and Wales, midnight on Christmas night, but the north is turning colder. There's a boundary, of course, that's marking, there's a weather front that's marking the boundary between the milder air to the south and the colder air from the north, and that boundary would be producing rain and also the risk of some quite significant snow. By Boxing Day, most parts of the country are back into those cold east to northeast winds, and then they carry on, into the period after Christmas, 27th of December, bringing in a cold northerly northeast wind across all parts of the country. And we keep it cold then with the GFS midnight run up to New Year's. This area of high pressure builds over the country. There will be lots of frost and fog underneath that area of high pressure, and that carries on into the new year as well. Eventually, it starts to go back to Scandinavia and draws in easterly winds. So from Christmas onwards, the GFS midnight run is cold then through to the 5th of January. This is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS midnight run from the Weather Outlook. Initially on Christmas Eve, the snow risk is just for Scotland. Elsewhere, we've got outbreaks of rain getting more widespread and heavier. Overnight, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, a little bit of snow over Pennines, but really most parts of England and Wales and Northern Ireland still seeing outbreaks of rain. Then the rain sort of peps up into Christmas afternoon, becomes very wet across many central, some parts of the country, colder air digging in from the east, and some of that rain turning to snow across northern England, possibly down into North Wales and the North Midlands on Christmas afternoon. And then the snow gets more widespread into the evening and heavier, so a real snow event then takes place over northern England into North Wales by 6 o'clock in the evening on Christmas Day. Notice Scotland is now mainly dry. Remember, yesterday the battle lines were really drawn over Scotland. As this is trending southwards, the battle lines are being drawn further south, which means Scotland mainly dry, but there will be risk of some snow showers and snow flurries, of course, there. Heavy rain down in the south, very, very wet Christmas Day. And that snow just gets really widespread and heavy into Christmas evening. Again, sort of Wales, North Midlands, eastern parts of England, some really quite heavy snow through there, turning primarily to snow by the end of Christmas Day into Christmas night, primarily snow through the central swathe of the country. Christmas Day snow event definitely through the central swathe. And then we'll head south and it kind of fizzles out as we go through into Boxing Day. And then, of course, we're into those cold conditions and they carry on then right the way through to the new year when it turns drier as the high pressure takes over. Mainly dry for the new year, but would be cold and frosty. Right, let's see what the 6Z is doing. This is the GFS 6Z, the very latest. Looks like this. So the GFS is pulling back from its mild Christmas and is starting to go colder on the midnight run. But let's see what the 6Z does. Again, low pressure in from the Atlantic on Thursday will bring milder southwest winds into Christmas Eve. We look like that. So high pressure is building to north, cold area over Scandinavia, this area of low pressure trying to bring us these mild southwesterly winds. Now, this is 6 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day. More of the country is in those colder east winds and earlier with the 6Z. So the 6Z is a further upgrade for cold weather on Christmas Day in central and northern areas. The mild air is more towards those southern parts of the country. That's how the upper air temperatures look. So as early as 6 a.m. on Christmas Day, the -5 ice firm is into northern England, and -10 ice firm is coming into eastern Scotland. Still relatively mild though in the far south and southwest. That's 6 p.m. in the evening on Christmas Day with the 6M. And again, most parts of the country are now going into those east to southeasterly winds, which is a cold wind direction. The milder air is down here, of course, with the area of low pressure. That's how the upper air temperatures look. That -5 ice firm is further south through the course of Christmas afternoon into Christmas evening, meaning that the risk of snow is potentially as far south as some central parts of the Midlands, for example, maybe even East Anglia. So run by run, the GFS is gradually trending this colder air southwards at the moment for Christmas Day. By the time we get through to Boxing Day, most parts of the country are in those cold east winds, just the very far south coastal areas that are still relatively mild. And we go cold then between Christmas and the New Year. This area is high pressure, producing lots of overnight frost and fog. Up to or into the New Year, we go milder on this GFS 6Z run. Don't worry about that at this stage. In terms of the precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6Z run, we look like this. So the snow risk again is mostly in the north across Scotland on Christmas Eve. There might be some snow in Scotland on Christmas Eve. Elsewhere, talking about showery outbreaks of rain as we go through into Christmas Day. This is Christmas morning, 9 a.m. A little bit of snow across northern England, otherwise mainly rain down in the southwest. A few snow showers up across Scotland. Through Christmas afternoon, the rain gets heavier, and as the rain gets heavier, we start to generate some evaporative cooling, particularly combined with that easy wind, lowering the upper air temperatures. We begin to set up some snow across North Wales into some parts of northern England, the North Midlands, and possibly over into East Anglia. And then into Christmas evening, Christmas night, that snow gets more widespread, affecting quite a large part of the Midlands, actually, into East Anglia, many parts of Wales, certainly central and northern Wales anyway, getting some quite heavy snow there. Again, we are talking about heavy rain further south southwards, so those areas, particularly south of the M4, you know, no chance of snow there, just lots of heavy rain. And more of that rain turns to snow through Wales and Midlands, East Anglia, as we go into Christmas night. So this is midday Boxing Day. Again, widespread snow event is taking place. There will be a real covering of snow through these areas with so many hours of snow falling. And it goes on into the early hours of Boxing Day as well, before it all kind of pushes southwards and peters out later on in Boxing Day, and then we open the door to these snow showers into the north and the northeast on those easterly winds and northeasterly winds. And then go mainly dry, cold and frosty, of course. Maybe another bout of snow there towards the new year as things begin to try and get milder. Right, so what a scenario this is to try and make sense of. The GFS is definitely pulling back to a colder Christmas today after going mild yesterday. The GFS today wants to have a colder Christmas. For most parts, because your south is still mild. That's to be said. But of course, this cold air is trending southwards run by run. So maybe in the end, the cold air might even be into the south by Christmas Day. We'll have to wait and see. Right, GEM looking like this. Generally quite mild on 23rd of December. After that, we head up towards Christmas. We're trying to pull in those cold east winds into the north, but southern air generally mild. So with the upper air temperatures, this is midnight on Christmas Day. The cold air is mainly into Scotland, really. Most parts of Ireland, England, Wales are milder. Remember, low pressure trends southwards during the course of Christmas Day. The cold air begins to dig southwards, but much more slowly compared to like what the GFS, particularly the GFS 6N, is doing. However, eventually we do finish up pulling in these cold easterly winds as we get into Christmas night and Boxing Day. So again, you know, it's similar to what GFS is showing, but takes a little bit longer to pull those cold easterly winds in. However, we do eventually get there. The GM does go cold by Boxing Day and into 27-28%. We're all looking cold with north and northeasterly winds. And then by day 10, milder air begin to return from off the Atlantic. The GM has also therefore shifted in a colder direction for Christmas today, but not as much as the GFS has done so. Maybe on the ECM and that looks quite mild with those southwesterly winds through to the to Christmas Eve. We have a go with the ECM pulling in some cold air from the east on Christmas Day. However, most parts of the country are still in those relatively mild southwesterly. There's the upper air temperature battery lines drawn in the north. The north in the cold air midnight on Christmas Day in Ireland, England, Wales, generally quite mild. And then the ECM never pulls that cold air southwards. So this is like midnight Christmas night, and actually the cold air has retreated away to the northeast. I can tell you that the ECM was a mild outlier today, though, so it was, it was a little bit at the milder end of the range. So the ECM never gets cold over Christmas. It gets cold after Christmas, perhaps briefly, but over Christmas itself, the ECM is today the mildest scenario. After for several days being the coldest scenario, it's now the mildest scenario. Will the ECM go back to cold, follow the GFS go back to cold tonight? We shall see. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. Not going to be much snow with this, except across Scotland. Just rain, really, coming in from the Atlantic. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10. Gets us to the 30th of December. We have 22 members of the ECM ensembles raising heights to the south. With low pressure out here, that's trying to drag up some mild air from the southwest. It has still got blocking, though, towards Canada and Greenland. 16 have high pressure, but are up to the north, blocking and low pressure to our east and south. That's going to be cold, bringing in winds from the north. And then 13 building up high pressure from the south. That's bringing milder air with it, but of course, under that high pressure, there might be frost and fog. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. And by the way, given how much uncertainty there is for Christmas, you know, don't take anything beyond Christmas seriously. But for 2 weeks' time, 4th of January, 14 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure set to our south, bringing up a milder southwesterly wind. 13 with a mid-Atlantic ridge to our west, low pressure to our east, and we're pulling down a cold northerly wind. 12 with high pressure over Scandinavia and bringing in a rather cold easterly wind, and then 12 with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and winds coming in from a west or a southwesterly direction. So, range of options, but again, given that we've got so much uncertainty in like 5 days' time, I think 2 weeks, it's best to leave it alone, really. This is how CFS-V2 is looking finally. It's a 500 millibar height sprung down into weekly pairs. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, please smash that like button, make sure to sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Job comment, don't forget this is all of our videos. So CFS finally looks like this. Week 1, 500 millibar height only from 20th, 26th of December. We're blocking to the north, low pressure underneath it, winds in from the east. It looks like it should be quite cold, but it's how far south that cold air gets over Christmas, of course. Week 2 is the 27th of December to the 2nd of January. Low pressure in off the Atlantic. That's potentially going to be a bit milder in week 2. Week 3, also looking rather westerly. Today, this is the 3rd to the 9th of January. Low pressure in off the Atlantic, high pressure towards Spain. Winds, therefore, will be in from the west. And then week 4 looks like that. 10th to the 16th of January, and low pressures in off the Atlantic along with a westerly wind. Don't take that seriously. We've got enough to be going on with for Christmas. Right, if you've enjoyed the video, please, can you smash the like button, make sure to sub to the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know anything about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing this for GavsWeatherVids. We did reach 13k on Saturday. We are giving away our Amazon voucher in a short live stream that we're going to do on Wednesday. I think we'll probably do probably around half an hour, 6:30, 7, something like that on Wednesday. We'll show you the 12Z with that, of course. And we shall give away our £30 Amazon voucher. If you have not entered, you can do so. If you're not entered the draw, you can do so from the GavsWeatherVids Discord, or you can email me at GavsWeatherVids@gmail.com. You will be entered into that prize draw, and somebody will win that £30 Amazon voucher on Wednesday to celebrate hitting 13k subscribers. Gotta be in it to win it, everybody. So please enter that if you'd like to. So UK residents only. Right. So what about all of that then? What a nightmare this Christmas is proving to be. In like 20 years, I've been watching the weather online since 2000, and in like 21 years, I can't remember seeing anything like this for Christmas. You know, this is a true one-off. It's Christmas. However it comes out, whatever happens on Christmas Day, you know, this is a one-off year. You will probably not have a year like this for 10, 20, maybe 30 years or something. This is the proper one-off. It very rarely, very rarely do we see the potential for snow like this on Christmas Day. But it is still only potential, and it might be that tonight we see the GFS backing away from this idea of pulling the cold air samples on Christmas Day and going back to a milder Christmas Day again. So I have no idea what's going to happen. I have to say I have no idea. We've just got to take it one run at a time and see what happens. Will the ECM shift tonight and go colder again for Christmas Day? Or will the GFS go milder again? We will find out. You know, we'll discover it tonight when we do our 22nd Christmas update. But it's exciting, isn't it? It's very interesting. One of the most interesting periods of model watching we've had since I've been doing GavsWeatherVids. As I say, I can't really remember a Christmas like this since 2000 when I started looking up the weather online. And even before that, really, into the, you know, back into the 80s and 90s, this would be very rare scenario for Christmas. Right, you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll be back with more at or after 7 p.m. this evening with our 22nd Christmas update, which will be a 12Z roundup as well. So I shall see you back for that one. But for this video, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.